I was about to make this video yesterday, but I just couldn't. Seeing Max lose like that, I want to emphasize how specifically this feat by Ilia Topuria is so impressive, knocking out Max Holloway. Max has been finished, but not knocked out, man. Like, this was the first time that Max Holloway was knocked out. And also, seeing this thing where, like Whitaker lost, Max Holloway lost. So I was just little bit depressed. I think most people are taking it as Max Holloway attempted 20 strikes, so this fight was going right for Max Holloway in some way. Max Holloway never does well with someone who is shorter than him, and it was just evident in this fight. We just saw Max Holloway struggle against Ilia Topuria with his range and with his. He couldn't get going, man. Like, he wasn't even. He was trying to find the range, but he couldn't. This victory was so impressive by Ilia Topuria, beating Volkanovski by knockout and then knocking out Max Holloway like that. It's just like one of the best things. I mean, some people are just putting Ilia Topuria above Alex Pereira and Makhachev UFC pound for pound ranking, and I don't know, man. Like, people say that it's a big thing, that it's not. It shouldn't be the case because it's like it's because like more number of. So, I mean, certainly more number of victories for Islam Makhachev or Alex Pereira is there. I mean, that's the case for them. But this is something different. This is something more impressive. I don't know whether he can surpass Islam Makhachev, because Islam Makhachev is like just maybe a future opponent for Ilia Topuria, and I know that he is going to win against Ilia Topuria because of like size disadvantage that Ilia Topuria has. But pound for pound, I think he's a better mixed martial artist as compared to Islam Makhachev. I think he's also good in grappling, and people don't know that because he hasn't used his grappling too much, apart from the Bryce Mitchell matchup where he used his wrestling. And it was like seeing Max Holloway getting knocked out, which just made me so frustrated. And I was like, okay, let's not just say anything about it. Let's just forget. Let's just think that it's just an AI clip that we just saw, and it is not. It is not that Max Holloway just got knocked out by Ilia Topuria. It was the first thing that I would really want to say is that Ilia Topuria backed up what he said. This is just like big game. He was just trying to do these things where he was just promoting himself to the brink. Like, he was just telling that he will win this fight no matter what. He will just win this fight, and it's just easy for him. I don't know, man. Like, just being so brave that you're just putting your name out there, like you're just going to win this fight no matter. You're just going to become first man to knock Max Holloway out. And it was like he was just putting too much on the risk, and I really like this because he won this and he did this. So it was like, if he loses, then we are just going to make fun of him, and if he wins, then he's going to make fun of everyone. So that's it. Like, he just backed what he said. That's what makes it more impressive, and people always admire people who just back what they say, like Conor McGregor used to do when he was an upcoming fighter in the UFC. I think also in the history of the UFC, I think there hasn't been someone who is as dominant of a puncher as compared to Ilia Topuria in the UFC featherweight division, because I think Max Holloway was volume puncher. Jose Aldo was like very good, has a very good era of being a champion in the featherweight division. Conor McGregor, yeah, you can compare the power of Ilia Topuria with Conor McGregor because it's just like similar type of power. But I think Conor McGregor didn't knocked out someone like Max Holloway like that. I mean, when Max Holloway and Conor McGregor fought, it was like a decision win for Conor McGregor. So I don't think like people should think like that. That people should compare Ilia Topuria to that era where Conor McGregor was champion. I think Conor McGregor was a very powerful puncher, but not as compared to Ilia Topuria. I mean, he's nothing as compared to Ilia Topuria, to be honest, because Ilia Topuria is someone who can mix in the grappling, and he just lifted Max Holloway up and just slammed him down the ground, and it was like very strange thing to see. But Max Holloway got up. All credit to Max Holloway, but it just felt like weird because Max Holloway, I don't think like everybody's saying Max Holloway was fighting a good fight. Yes, he was faster than Ilia Topuria. Yes, I don't think like this fight was going for Max Holloway, because I don't think Max Holloway fights well with someone who is shorter than him, and it was the same thing. Like, he lost that fight against Volkanovski, and the same thing is happening here. Like, nothing different. So I just feel depressed about this. I feel bad for Max, but I mean, it is just one of the most cruel sports in the universe. Like, you will lose some fights, And once your time, then it's your time. Max Holloway is just 33 years old, so he can still have a very good career in the UFC, like for 3 or 4 years in the UFC. But I mean, sometimes people lose their chin, and this may happen to Max. Like first time getting knocked out, Jack Liddell also had this thing where he was never knocked out, and once he got knocked out very, very like in consecutive fights. So this might happen to Max too. I'm not just predicting something, but I don't want that to happen to Max, but maybe it can happen. And I also want to say that Ilia Topuria's future looks great, and maybe he will become a double weight division champion. But please, I mean, he shouldn't fight against Makhachev because Makhachev is going to humble him. I think so. But apart from that, I mean, he has a good chance against Arman Sarukian. That's all I'm gonna say. And if Ilia Topuria and Arman Sarukian cross paths, then maybe Ilia Topuria can become two-weight division champion. And if we compare the power between like 145 and 155 featherweight and lightweight division, I think it translates good. Like it translated good when Max Holloway moved up the division and knocked out Justin Gaethje, who's known to be very tough. Ilia Topuria's power is obviously higher than Max, and it can happen there too. So then he will be faster in that division. I know that. I mean, faster as compared to the other people, not as fast as in the featherweight division, but faster as compared to the other people in that division. So that's it for the video. Like, I really wanted to say these things. I congratulate Ilia Topuria for becoming this like legendary fighter who won. I mean, just in 2 fights he achieved something that people don't achieve in their entire career. Like he won against Volkanovski, who is like the greatest of all time in the featherweight division, and then he won against Max Holloway, who's like the second greatest of all time in featherweight division. No disrespect to Jose Aldo, but this era feels a little bit different, and he's so young. He's just 27 years old, so anything can happen, man. Like he can become a two-division champion, and he can become the next superstar in the UFC. But it's sad to see that it happened against Max. But and I don't want to talk about Robert Whittaker because that was just next level of heartbreak. Like because how that fight ended, I mean, it was a depressing night. That's all. I really wanted Max Holloway and Robert Whittaker to win, but they both lost. So I'm just speechless, to be honest, and that's why I didn't made any video yesterday night, because I felt like if I was in front of the camera, then I will be like feeling very, very sad, and I will get more depressed expressing my views to the people who watch me. Very few people, but I guess they watch me. So if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And that's what we do in this channel. We talk about UFC, we talk about martial arts, we talk about football, we talk about all the things that get me excited, but in a good way. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.